Shri Arunachalam, Shri Arunachalam. We shall chant from the first verse just to recollect all those ideas. Katturajñaya prapyate palam.
Katturajñaya prapyate palam.
Karma kim param karma tajjadam.
Karma kim param karma tajjadam.
Kruti mahodadhau patana karanam.
Kruti mahodadhau patana karanam.
Phalamashashvatam ghadi nirodhakam.
Phalamashashvatam ghadi nirodhakam.
Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam.
Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam.
Chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam.
Chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam.
Kaya vang manaha karyamuttamam.
Kaya vang manaha karyamuttamam.
Pujanam japas chintanam kramat.
Pujanam japas chintanam kramat.
Jagata ishadhi yukta sevanam.
Jagata ishadhi yukta sevanam.
Ashtamurti bhruda deva pujanam.
Ashtamurti deva pujanam.
Uttamastavat uchamandhataha.
Uttamastavat uchamandataha.
Chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam.
Chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam.
Ajyadharaya shrotasasamam.
Ajyadharaya shrotasasamam.
Sarala chintanam viralatappharam.
Sarala chintanam viralatappharam.
Vedha bhavana sohamityasau.
Vedha bhavana sohamityasau.
Bhavana bidha pavani mata.
Bhavana bidha pavani mata.
Bhavashunya sat bhavasustitihi.
Bhavashunya sat bhavasustitihi.
Bhavana balad bhaktiruttama.
Bhavana balat bhaktiruttama.
Khrutstale mana swasthata kriya.
Kristale mana swasthata kriya.
Bhakti yoga bho dhascha nishchitam.
Bhakti yoga bodhasya nishchitam.
Vayurodhanat liyate manaha.
Vayurodhanat liyate manah.
Jhalapakshivat rodha sadhanam.
Jalapakshivad rodha sadhanam.
Chittavayavaschitkriya-yutaha.
Chittavayavaschitkriya-yutaha.
Shakayordvayi shakti-mulaka.
Shakayordvayi shakti-mulaka.
Laya-vinashane ubhayarodhane.
Laya-vinashane ubhayarodhane.
Laya-ghatam punar bhavati no-mrutam.
Laya-ghatam punar bhavati no-mrutam.
Pranabandhanat lina-manasam.
Pranabandhanat lina-manasam.
Eka-chintanat nashametyadaha.
Eka-chintanat nashametyadaha.
Nashtamanasaha utkrishta-yoginaha.
Nashtamanasa utkrishta-yoginaha.
Krityamasti kim Swastitim yataha
Krityamastitim Swastitim Yataha
Drishyavaritam Chittamatmanaha
Drishyavaritam Chittamatmana
Chitvadarshanam Tattvadarshanam
Chitvadarshanam Tattvadarshanam
Manasam tu kim Marghane krite
Manasam tu kim Margane krite
Naiva manasam Marge ajavad
Naiva manasam Marge ajavad
Vrittayastvaham Vrittimashritaha
Vrittayasvaham Vrittimashritaha
Vrittayo mano Vidyaham manaha
Vrittayo mano Vidyaham manaha
Ahamayam kuto Bhavati chinvataha
Ahamayam kuto bhavati chintataha
Aipatatyaham Nijavicharanam
Aipatatyaham nijavicharanam
Ahaminashabhajahamaham taya
Ahavinashabhajahamaham taya
Spurati hrutsvayam Paramapurnasat
Surati swayam paramapurnasat
Idamaham padabhikyamanvaham
Idamaham padabhikyamanvaham
Ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya
Ahaminake kalaya satyaya.
So we have seen yesterday's class that when we inquire what is this mind, then the mind perishes. We will understand that there is no mind. Naiva manasam, na eva manasam. This is the direct path. Marge arjavad. This is the direct path to know the truth. How to inquire? If you inquire what is mind, it is nothing but flow of thoughts. Vrittayaha. So it is nothing but vrittaya, manaha vrittaya, nothing but thoughts. But what are these thoughts? If you inquire further, then there are thoughts about things and beings around. That is idam vritti, called as idam. It's indicated by this or that. All these thoughts, they depend on one thought, fundamental thought called I thought. So aham ashritaha. Aham ashritaha means it depends on the I thought. Without the first person, there cannot be the second or third person. So therefore, only when I am, there is world or anything else. If I am not, there is no world. Is that not so? See, when I am hale and hearty, I can enjoy this life. When I have got everything, I can enjoy this life. Suppose something goes wrong in my physical body, let us say, or in my mind. If I am not all right, can I enjoy this world? Can't. So depending on me only, my existence in this world. Me means my state of mind or whatever. So therefore everything depends on the I thought. See, suppose let us say I am bedridden, unable to move, unable to eat properly, like some chronic, some disease, let us say. For me, nothing will really, attract. Nothing can satisfy me. I will lose interest in life. There may be, the bandhus, the friends, this, that, everything. I cannot enjoy anything. Why? Because I am the center of my life. So if you think that way, everything depends on I. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So therefore, what is this I? Comes the further inquiry. So mind is nothing but I only, because depending on I, everything else comes. So my mind is nothing but I only. What is this I? Who am I? From where this I thought is rising? This is the inquiry. So as I told you yesterday, it is not just asking a question, it is turning the attention within and trying to look within with the inner eye, meaning with our attention within, looking who am I, where am I arising. So if you keep your attention there, then I patati aham. I, alas, oh, this aham, this I perishes, patati. This is nija vichara. This is vichara. And where that I drops, another I shines. Aham aham taya spurati hutsvayam. At the heart it shines by itself, without you wanting to know or struggling. It shines itself, and that is Parama Purna Sat. That is absolute truth. Why it is absolute truth? Because in that there is nothing other than that. In the other self, the ego self, it is ego versus the rest, like I versus the rest of the world. But there, I alone am, meaning everything else is resolved as self only. So self alone. So that is Parama Purna Sat. See, Purna means what? Infinite or absolute. If there is something else other than that, it cannot be absolute. Because the other thing will condition this thing, and both of them will perish. So absolute means what? There cannot be anything other than that. So therefore Parama Purna Sat. And then the question is asked, how do you know it is Parama Purna Sat? Because it cannot be negated. In any state of our consciousness, in any state, waking, dream or deep sleep, it can never be negated. All the other things can be negated. You understand? All the other things can be negated. Even the deep sleep, when everything goes, but this self is always present. What is that? What is said there? Ahamilinake api alaya sattaya. The verse 21. In the deep sleep, ahamilinake api. Even though the ego I, the ego self goes, ahamilinake api alaya. This self is not gone. Still it exists. Therefore it is absolute truth. See, this logic given by Bhagavan is so beautiful. According to the Vedanta Shastra, what is Satyam? Which is present in all three periods of time, in all our experiences, which can never be negated. That is truth. See, everything else can be negated, but the self cannot be negated. Even in the deep sleep, even though we are not aware, it is there. Why? How? Because when we get up, we say, I slept beautifully and I enjoyed. It means there must be the self. So therefore, this truth is absolute, Parama Purna Sat, by knowing which you need not know anything else. You feel fulfilled, truly fulfilled, and total bliss. So this is the truth. Now, Bhagavan has given his philosophy of Atma Vichara. Now he takes up the traditional Vedanta thought of how to arrive at this self. See, one is Atma Vichara. The another is traditional Vedanta Vichara, which is saying na iti, not this, not this. By negating whatever is not the Atma, the self, as not this, not this, you arrive at the real Atma, the self. See, a sculpture, a beautiful sculpture, when he looks at a stone or a rock, he looks at the statue only. For him, the statue is there in that rock. He could see that statue. Then what he does? Not this, not this. He eliminates the other portions. Not this, not this, not this. And then the statue appears. So the Paramatma is there, but it is mixed up with lot of other things. The self is there, Atma the self, which is now in our mind mixed up with so many other not self, which is not the self. So now we have to slowly remove, this is not the self, this is not the self, this is not the self. And then you arrive at the actual self, which cannot be negated. So that is the Panchakosha Viveka, it's called as in traditional Vedanta Shastra. So here Bhagavan is employing that technique of Panchakosha Viveka, almost like that. In verse 22nd, Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha
Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha
Nahamekasat Tajjadam Yasat
Nahamekasat Tajjadam Yasat.
Once again, Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha
Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha
Nahamekasat Tajjadam Yasat.
Nahamekasat Tajjadam Yasat.
See, in the first line, he is negating everything. How beautiful. See, in one line, this is the beauty of the language. And Bhagavan is expert at it. See, Vigraha. Vigraha means what is body. His body is referring as Vigraham. Vigraha. This gross physical body. Vigraha. And then Indriya, the senses. 5 senses. Indriya. Prana, the vital air. Prana. Dhi. Dhi means what? Buddhi. There all the antakarana. Mana buddhi, everything is included. So the inner instruments. Mind, intellect, etc. Everything is included in one word, dhi. Then tamaha. Tamaha means ajnana. Tamaha means, tamas means darkness, which is ajnana. Ajnana means ignorance. So all these 5, what is that? Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, Tamaha, Naham. It is not me. Why? Why it is not me? Because Tajjadam hi asat. They are inert, insentient. Therefore, asat, not true, not real. Whereas I am sentient. No? I am aware. I am sentient. But this body is insentient by itself. See, when the prana departs, the body falls dead. Meaning what? It cannot move, it cannot feel, it cannot think. So similarly, Indriya by itself, the senses by itself cannot know anything. Because my attention is behind the Indriya, I know things. See, sometimes we may be daydreaming. Somebody would be passing that side. You'll be looking at that person, but we may not register. Why? The eyes are open, but still the attention is not there. So attention is called as the Atma Chaitanya, oozing out through the eyes. So by itself, the senses cannot know anything without the light of the Atma, the self, consciousness. So therefore the senses are also jada, inert only. Similarly, prana. Prana means what? Jadam. The breath, vital air, is not sentient. It is just jadam. Similarly, buddhi also they say, because the Atma Chaitanyam is there, it is able to think. That's what the Mahatmas say. So by itself it is jada, means insentient. Even whatever ignorance we call, from the higher state, for the higher state, what is ignorance? Ignorance of the self. It is called as ignorance. It is not ignorance of things, it is ignorance of oneself. That is also jada. Therefore, these cannot be me, the real self, because I am aware, I am alive, I am kicking, I am able to feel, I am able to think, I should be something else. This is the idea. See, roughly this is the idea. So, Ekasat. So, that aham, that I, which is a sat, cannot be these things because they are jadam, insentient, and asat. Therefore, they are asat means what? Not the truth. So here, Adi Shankara's philosophy, it is very clearly said, whatever is seen is not the seer. See, whatever is seen cannot be the seer. No? Seer is distinctly different. When you inquire who is the seer and find out this truth, that is the self. So we saw drishyavaditam. When you give up all the drishya padartha as not self, not self. Whatever remains is a swatma darshana, that is tattva darshana. You have seen now in 16th verse. You remember in 16th verse we have seen that. Drishyavaditam chittam atmanaha chitva darshanam tattva darshanam. Drishyavaditam means when you withdraw everything, your attention from drishyam, the seen, whatever is seen, known, then what happens? Atmanaha chitva darshanam. Afterwards you know yourself by yourself. That is Atma darshan, that is Tattva darshan. That is a knowledge of truth. So here also he says, now, this aham, this true self, distinctly is different from the deha, vigraham, the indriya, the prana, the buddhi, and ajnana. Tamaham means ajnana. It is other than all this. Because they are all jadam, insentient. But this self is the Atma Chaitanya. It shines by itself and it illuminates, it shines everything else. See, when we are asleep, please remember, when we are asleep, what happens? The eyes are open, the ears are there, but nothing registers. How? You are very tired. We just fall asleep. But next to your building, they are doing this metro construction, let us say. Dang, ding, dang. When I was staying in Adayar, next to my building, there was metro work going on. My hosts, they warned me, Swamiji, it would be very noisy in the night. I said, no, for me not a problem. When I go to sleep, nothing disturbs me. So, when you go to sleep, what happens? See, even though the senses are all open, but nothing registers. Why? Because somehow you are not there to register it. You means what? The attention is not oozing out through your senses. The mind also is not available. See? So I am something else other than this known. So I am that Atma Chaitanyam which makes everything known. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarva. Tasya bhasa sarvamidham vibhati. Therefore, I am distinctly different from all this. So why is this inquiry? Only when you know the real self, then you are liberated from all the false, not self. And you feel free. And you are not bound by anything. And you feel totally contented and blissful. That is the nature of yourself. If you identify with the body-mind, then you take the dharma of body-mind as your own dharma. That is ego sense. The body gets older and older. Oh, I am growing old now. See? The mind feels happiness or sorrow. I am sad. We identify so much with the body, with the mind and everything. I am an idiot, I don't understand things. Buddhi, it's a problem of the buddhi. But we take it as our problem. So why should we worry if we are not able to understand things? See, actually speaking, foolish people suffer foolishly, intelligent people suffer intelligently. If a person is very intelligent, The only difference is he suffers, but intelligently he suffers. So actually, only when you go beyond the buddhi, you are really peaceful. What is the occupation of the buddhi? Cause hunting. Want to know why? Why to know? If you cut it there, then you are peaceful. But as an intelligent being, I want to know everything. He is going to tell you whatever you know in this world is all ajnanam only. He is going to tell you. Or satayadi kudugarar. Whatever you know is also ajnanam, he says. So therefore, going beyond the intellect also, not to identify with any layer of our personality. That is real freedom. We somehow get stuck in one layer or the other layer, always. In our physical body especially. We go on in front of the mirror looking at us. Why? This is me. I should look beautiful, attractive. I identify with our mind so much. I am a very good person. Goody. What good? What bad? Nobody is good, nobody is bad. The vasanas are good or bad. That's all. So good, bad. What is good, bad? I am a very sensitive person. When somebody harms the dog, I cannot tolerate. Oh my God, my heart pains. But while killing the chicken or whatever, that is fine. What sensitive then you are? That is fine. I want to eat chicken every day, morning, evening, every day. But dog though? No. Why? No. Dog is sacred. See, like we say cow is sacred. People say dog is sacred. Cow you can kill and eat. What perversion. See, if you really feel for lives, then you should be equal, na? No, that is fine. Chicken, mutton and all fine. But dog though? No. See, there's so how going on in Delhi about stray dogs, how to be handled. People are so concerned about dogs, but you go and see, they cannot live without eating chicken, mutton. You ask them, what about this? They say, that is all something else, but this is something else. I don't understand really. So we get caught in our mind, in our buddhi, in our ideals, ideas, concepts. We get caught in our pet theories, pet ideas, pet concepts. That is why we struggle. A Mahatma is one who is not caught in anything. Meaning what? He is free, totally free. Meaning what? Doesn't mean that he has no ideal or no idea about anything. But he is not caught in it. It's okay. It's fine. So therefore, when you know your true self, you are not caught in anything. And it's liberating. Then you understand everybody as they are. Why? Because you are not caught in anything. You are free. So you liberate everybody also around you. You give freedom to everybody to be as they are. So therefore, this abiding in self is very important. See, whenever you are disturbed, whenever there is something troubling you, just pass and look within. You will find you are caught in one of these layers of your personality. Nothing else. See, easy to point fingers at somebody else, something else. Because of that I am suffering, because of this I am suffering. Actually, a spiritual student should just pause and look within. I am caught in one of the layers of the personality. That is why I am troubled. That is why I feel very miserable. It is not because of the world, because of anybody else. Truly. Nobody can touch me, disturb me, trouble me. I am caught in any one of these personalities, unknowingly. That is why I feel miserable. More the ego, more the miseries, our Acharya used to say. Misery is directly proportional to ego. Ego means what? We are identified with one of the personalities. See, there is nothing to justify or glorify anything in this world, everything is anatma. Full stop. Oh, goody goody, sensitive, Allah, fine. But nothing to justify all those things and suffer in life. If you are suffering in life, it means you are foolish. Full stop. So, why you are suffering? Because you identify with one of these personalities. See, in vichara, you have to be ruthless. See, bhakti means what? Bhavana. There, all emotions only. Emotions are beautiful. But in vichara, you have to be ruthless. No room for, soft and, caressing and all. No. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva, says Sri Krishna in chapter 15. This samsara, vriksha, this tree of samsara, how it has to be cut asunder with asanga shastrena, with detachment, with the sword of detachment, he says. What is detachment? Not to identify with any of these layers of our personality. That is detachment. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. So therefore, if you know your true self, when you are not caught in any of your personality, there is no problem in our lives. We can live very happily, blissfully here. And when you are in your own self, the beauty is you see the same self everywhere. Therefore, the love and compassion is natural. And therefore, serving the society or serving your fellow beings is natural, spontaneous. So therefore, you should know yourself and abide in the self. That is the theme of our Vedanta Shastra. Know thyself and abide in thyself. When somebody asked Bhagavan, Sri Bhagavan, how to treat others? Bhagavan said, there are no others. There are no others. Meaning what? You should not treat anybody as others. Why? That Bheda Bhavanam creates every problem. You treat everybody as your own self. You will not harm yourself. So, same now, you should not harm anybody. Something like that. Okay. Moving on. So, how to know this self? The next question comes. How to know this self? He says, you need not know the self. Huh? Now, 23rd. Sattvabhasika Chitvavetara.
Sattvabhasika Chitvavetara.
Sattaya hi chit chittaya hyaham.
Sattaya hi chit chittaya hyaham.
Sattvabhasika Chitvavetara.
Sattvabhasika Chitvavetara.
Sattaya hi chit chittaya hyaham.
Satyaya hi chit chittaya hyaham.
Sattvabhasika chit kwa itara. This is how you have to split it. In Sanskrit, if you know how to split, you will know the meaning. If you split in different way, then the meaning may differ also. So, Sattvabhasika chit kwa itara, meaning this self which is the truth. Sat means truth. How to know the truth? Is there any other means to know this self or this truth, this Sat? Meaning, the truth or the Sat itself is the pure knowledge to know itself. There is no other knowledge required. Meaning, if you want to know the sun shining, do you need a torch? Oh, I am not able to see the sun. Then you are blind. If somebody takes a torch and wants to see the sun, how foolish he is. What is sun? He is light himself. So he is known by his own light. You need not use any other light to know him. Similarly, this Atma, the self, which is Satyam, which is the truth, is known by his own light, because he is of the nature of light. Means he is of the nature of knowledge, pure knowledge. So he is known by his own light. There is no other light or no other knowledge required to know him. Because Satyahi Chit, Sityahi Aham. Because that Sat, that existence principle itself is knowledge principle. Pure knowledge. Sat Chit Anandam, we say, no? Chit means the knowledge principle. So, that Sat, the Satyam is known by its own light or by itself, because it is of the nature of knowledge. And that Chit, he Aham, that is myself, he Aham. So therefore, to know oneself, you don't need anything else. You don't need any other equipment. You don't need any other knowledge, any other means. It is self-evident. I am. Is that not self-evident? But to know I am as a substratum of everything, that is Atma Vichara. You understand? So therefore, when you see why this question, when you say this is not me, this is not me, when you say the body is not me, when you say senses are not me, only with senses we are knowing things, right? When you say senses are not me and you drop it or negate it, oh, okay, with the buddhi I can understand the truth of self. No, the buddhi also you negate. Then how will I know it? See, all the ordinary, regular, the source of knowledge, means of knowledge is what? The senses, the mind, the buddhi. He says you have to negate, not me, not me, not me. When you negate all those things, then how will you know the truth? Is it shunyam? No, it's not shunyam also. So how will you know the truth? There, if you don't have any equipment to know the truth, how will you know the truth? Don't worry. There is no other equipment required to know the truth. No other knowledge required, because this truth itself of the nature of knowledge. See, Satyahi Chit. This self or the truth is of the nature of the knowledge itself. Therefore, no other knowledge is required. That is why Chit Kwa Itara. Is there any other knowledge required to know this truth? Not required. Therefore, you need not worry, how will I know the truth? If I negate everything, all the senses, the mind, the buddhi, the intellect, if I give up everything, then how would I know the truth? See, what is meditation actually? You sit quiet. First you close all the senses. Ears you cannot, so don't worry. Yeah? And then what? Mind also, whatever happens inside, don't worry. Means don't give any value to it. Just sit quiet. After some time everything will subside. Then how will you know the truth? No, you need not know the truth. The truth itself of the nature of knowledge. It is known by itself. How the sun is the nature of light. It is known by its own light. Similarly, it will be known by itself. So that Chit, that pure knowledge is me, the true self. You understand? The connection between the previous one and this one? When you negate all the anatma, all the senses, body, mind, intellect, then the question comes, how will I know the truth? You need not worry about that. It is known by itself. Because it is of the nature of knowledge. See, we have been used to knowing things. We are all very intelligent people. We want to know the self. Somehow we want to know the self. That's an episode where Anda Parupinge Vehad. You cannot know the self. Swamiji, this is too much. You say you should know yourself, know thyself. And now you come and say, sorry, you cannot know yourself. Because you need not know the self. அதான் நாங்கள் சும்மா நாங்கள் வரத்தில் இருக்கோம். அப்படி கிடையாது. You should know the self, but you cannot know the self. You need not know the self, because you are the self, and it is known by itself. See, நான் இருக்கேங்கிறது யாரா சொல்லணுமா? வெளிச்சம் போட்டுக்க. I know. So therefore, you are the nature of pure knowledge. So, to know it, you don't need any other knowledge. So you are the knowledge. That thou art. You are the self. See, this is very important, this instruction. Because always you want to know. You need not know. It is of the nature of knowledge. Therefore, just be there. Don't try to know. Just be. Because now see, the seeker has been advised to give up everything in the world to know the self. That is sarva parityagam. He has given up everything for something, and that also you cannot know. Where will I go now? What will I do now? You need not do anything. Where will I go now? You need not go anywhere. Then you are that. Tat Tvamasi. Just be. So it is losing everything, not gaining anything new. It is losing everything. Are you ready for this deal? You have to lose everything. You may get something or you may not. We don't know. Who knows? But if you give up everything, you get everything. This is the secret. If you lose everything, you gain the samrajyam, moksha samrajyam. Samrajyam means what? Everything you get. So that is the secret. People don't know the secret. They want to hoard, possess, accumulate. Beta, no. By giving up only there is joy. There is bliss. See this fellow, he feels very miserable. Oh, I am alone. Everything is there, but I am alone. I should find a partner. Suppose I should find a partner. So he starts finding a partner. And then only he realizes after marriage, after 2-3 years, my God, this is trouble. Trouble means what? To have one more person in life sitting on my head is a problem. I was so happy and blissful all the days. So I was feeling miserable in a very foolish way. Now, to take care of one more and their own idiosyncrasies and eccentricities, everything together is a real struggle. So later you realize, my God, but it's too late now. At least in our culture it is late. They say, na, இது ஆயிரங்காலத்து பயிர் ஒருவனுக்கு ஒருத்தி Sita Mata, Sri Rama. So you have to suffer through your whole life. What will I do? Prarabdham like that. People live saying my prarabdham. Actually, to carry this body and this mind itself is so difficult. It's a burden. How to carry other minds and other bodies together? We feel as if we are carrying. That's what I'm saying. It's not that we are carrying. We feel as if we are carrying our children. Another soul, another thing has come into life. And 2, 3. My God. I am trying to help this world. But you are burdening yourself and you suffer. But the idea is what? You get rid of yourself. You are free. Yourself means what? Your ego self. How nice it is. You need not carry any burden of yourself also. When yourself goes, along with yourself, your wife, your children, everything goes. So you are free. Actually, you are terrible for yourself. So to get rid of yourself is real freedom. But how to do that? You cannot know yourself because there is no need to know. You are of the nature of knowledge. No other light is required to illumine the sun. Similarly, no other knowledge is required to know yourself, who is of the nature of knowledge. So be yourself. That is what he is going to say in the next shloka. No. Next shloka is actually this thing. Mahavakya Upadesha. Afterwards he is going to say, you need not know yourself also, be yourself. We will come to that point. Okay. Verse 24 and 25 is Mahavakya Upadesha. It's a very important portion in our Vedanta Shastra, Vedantic study. Right? Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam. See, when we negate, the senses are not, the mind is not, buddhi is not, actually we are negating the gross physical world, the subtle world, everything we are negating actually. Only with the senses come the gross physical world. With the mind and buddhi comes a subtle world of our own, emotions and thoughts, and that is subtle world, where we are living. So when we are negating the senses and the mind and buddhi, we are negating the world also along with that. Okay, Swamiji, you have negated your equipments, you have negated the world, that is fine. But what about Ishvara, God? How can you negate him? You cannot negate God now. So you have arrived at a point called as a self, and you say that self is everything. Paramapurna Sat. This is all fine. Adan Gurudev Silvar. Daadiya pudichu kekkanum Gurunadhara. Eppadi ஏமாத்த முடியும்னு. You cannot fool me like that. You have negated, okay, the equipments of yourself. So all those things negated, and the world also you have negated along with the equipments. So you have arrived at a point called as your own self, where you need not know the self also, you are the self. That is all fine. But what about God? Okay, who has created everything, who is running the show, who is responsible for everything. He is Superman, I mean, he is a supreme power, no? How can you negate him? What about him? So, you are there and God is also there. Do you agree? Here comes a real thing. Very great dilemma for all the masters. They cannot say yes also, no also. See, the people who are very much into Dvaitic path, they are very scared of this philosophy. Why? Because they feel God, my God, Ishta, He is my own, my God. But if you poke into that kind of a concept or idea, they get very angry, upset. But here, Bhagavan says, see, very beautiful it is. ஒரு மாதிரி காம்ப்ரமைஸ், உனக்கும் சண்டை இல்லை எனக்கும் சண்டை இல்லை, நம்ம சமரசமாக இருப்போம். We will live, coexist. So the idea is what? He says, Isha Jivayoho Vesha Dhi Vida. Between the Isha, Ishvara, the Lord, the God, and Jiva. Jiva means oneself, myself, as a Jiva. What is the difference? Bida means difference. The difference lies in Veshadi. Vesham. Vesham means the appearance, the body. For me, my body is what? This physical gross body. But for him, Virata Purusha, everything is his own, his body. So, with respect to the body, and Dhi. Dhi means what? Buddhi. I know only this much because I am attached with this body, my mind and intellect. But he knows everything. Why? Because he is a total intellect. He is having the total intellect as his upadhi. So this is the difference. You get this point? The difference between the Jiva and the Ishvara is in the body, how I appear with the individual body, but all the bodies is his. So for me, I have one mind and intellect, but he has got all the mind and intellect as his Upadhi, let us say. You understand this much? But he says, this is fine, this we agree, true. Because I am Alpa Buddhiman, he is Sarvajna. I am Alpa Shaktiman, he is Sarva Shaktiman. So fine. But Sat Swabhavataha Vastu Kevalam. But from the standpoint of existence, I am the goddess. The standpoint of existence, pure existence, there is no difference whatsoever between the Jiva and the Ishvara. So, when you transcend the body and mind and intellect, and you reach a point where you are, I am, the existence principle, from that standpoint, there is no difference between Jiva and Ishvara. When you give that up and come back to body mind, yes, there is. Yes, you are a Jiva and he is Ishvara, and yes, he is Karunamurti. If you submit unto him, he guides you, he protects you, everything is fine. But when it comes to Tattva Vichara, when you give up this body, mind, everything, this intellect and everything, when you reach the source of all, the pure existence, then from that standpoint of pure existence, there is no difference whatsoever between the Jiva and the Ishvara. Therefore, it said, that thou art. See, that thou art should not be mistaken. With the body and mind, I am not God. Then I become Hiranyakashipu. I am God, everybody should worship me. With the body and mind, if I proclaim I am God, I am mistaken totally. I cannot be God. Because my body is something else, his Vesha is something else. He is having Maya as his Upadhi. You understand? So he becomes Sarva Shaktiman only. But when you negate your body, mind, everything, and reach a point where it is pure existence, from the standpoint of pure existence, there is no difference whatsoever between the Jiva and Ishvara. That way you are one with the Lord. So therefore, Ishvara is nothing but the pure self only. Because pure self means what? It's existence principle. Ulladu 40 எழுதியிருக்கார் பகவான் 40 verse. Ulladu, it is, I am. அப்படின்னு isness, on the pure existence standpoint, from there if you see, there is no difference whatsoever between the Jiva and Ishvara. He also exists, I am also existing. That existence principle is same. Like, if you give an example, the ocean and the waves. Ocean is so huge, it's very powerful. Waves, just they come and go. In the periphery, they just rise and fall. Very small. But both are water only. From the standpoint of water, ocean, the waves are one only. But if you forget about the water, if you see only the akriti, the sort of form, oh, it's huge, and it is very small. And the power, ocean has got infinite power. Waves, they come and go. But if you remove the names and forms, and when you dive deep and find out what is the actual thing, the essence is water. From the water standpoint, ocean water is nothing but, ocean waves are nothing but water only. So similarly, Vesha Dihi, because of the body and the Di, Buddhi, the Upadhis. Upadhi means whatever we function through, the body, mind, whatever he functions through Maya Upadhi. There is a difference. Yes, he is Sarva Shaktiman, he is Sarvajñan, we are Alpa Shaktiman, we don't know anything. But from the standpoint of pure existence and knowledge, there is no difference whatsoever between Ishvara and Jiva. This is Brahmatmaikya Bodha. This is Mahavakya Upadesha, that thou art. So when we transcend the body, mind and intellect, we reach a place or a sthanam where we are no more whatever we think about ourselves. As a human, as an individual, man, woman, this, that. We become something else. We become means we are something else. So from that standpoint, there is nothing else other than this. So therefore, Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. That is truth. The absolute standpoint is truth. But when you slip down from there, yes, Vyavahara, this is also truth. You understand? But if you are in this Vyavahara, this truth, yes, there is you, there is God, there is world, there is Sukha, Dukkha, everything. So if you worship Him, if you surrender unto Him, His blessings, everything is fine, everything is true. If there is help, why not you take? But if you move away from this platform, from this frame of reference, and when you glide into some other frame of reference, which is absolute, where it is only pure existence, then from that frame of reference, there is nothing else other than that one. You understand? See, we don't understand deeply anything. Superficially understand and we get confused and then we struggle. When we understand deeply, then there is no struggle. Another famous example by our Acharyaji. He is known for his examples. I have told you also, I don't know. His example of Obama, former president. In his house, as a husband, as a father, he is a poor thing. Nobody listens to him. Right? If you watch the interview of Michelle Obama and all, Pavam Obama. So, he is a poor thing, Pavam. He has no influence over anybody. The children thought, no need to ask. They will not listen. They know everything. They live their own life. They do their own things. So he cannot say anything to anybody. But if he is elected as the president of United States of America, another upadhi he gains. What is the upadhi? He is a president. Then he becomes all powerful, all knowing, because the secret service, everything is under him. The intelligence, everything is under him. And he becomes all powerful, all knowing. And he exerts such an influence and impact over the whole world. Now see this Trump, what all he is doing. One social media, this thing he sends, the whole world trembles. Why? It's possible. His power. Because if he takes the upadhi of the president, then he's all powerful. If he takes the upadhi of the father or the husband, he's pavam. He's pavam than us. So, but this person is one. When he's with the upadhi of the husband, when we are with the upadhi of the body mind, he's very miserable, very power. But he takes the upadhi of president, like Ishvara takes the upadhi of Maya, total Maya, then he's all powerful. So this is the Vedam between the Ishvara and Jiva, but the one principle only is there. From the standpoint of existence, knowledge, pure knowledge, there is only one. But when you identify the body mind, there comes everything. There comes Ishvara, there comes the world, there comes the Jiva, everything comes. When you give up this body mind and everything, cross there and go and there, remain there in the Satchit, the pure existence, then nothing except the pure existence. This is the Mahavakya Upadesha. So in the next verse, Bhagavan is going to say this same thing. Veshahanataha swatmadharshanam Ishadharshanam swatmarupataha Veshahanataha swatmadarshanam Isha darshanam swatma rupataha.
Isha darshanam swatmarupataha.
Veshahanataha. Veshata kalachi pottomma. How beautiful words they are used. Vesham solon lya. Veshata kalachironna. Meaning what? I am with the body mind. Yen veshata na kalachita. He is with the Maya Upadi. Our vesham kalanju bedum. Veshahanataha swatma darshanam. When I give up my identification with the body and mind, my vesha, then what happens? Swatma darshanam. I have the darshanam of my own self. From that standpoint, Isha darshanam swatma rupataha. That is the Isha darshanam, the vision of God. Why? Because the Ishvara, the God also, is essentially of the nature of the pure self or the existence knowledge. You understand this? Veshahanataha. When I say I am not the body mind, I am the pure existence knowledge principle, the self. When I remain there, what happens? I am remaining in God principle only. Why? That is Isha Darshanam, God realization. Why? Because God essentially is the existence knowledge only. Because Swatma Rupataha, Isha Darshanam Swatma Rupataha. See, please understand one thing. Isha Darshanam, God realization means, see, don't watch too much of cinema and all, And in cinema, the director's, mind is perverted or confused. Then somebody appears, Kulandai un bhaktikku mechine ennavaram vendum kel. Ayyo nada, Bhagavane, ha ha ho. That is all fine. That can happen also to you. I am telling you. It can happen also to you. If you are really devoted to the Lord, it can happen to you. But the problem is, it is not absolute experience or knowledge. You know why? Because it appears and it disappears. Suppose I tell you, if the Lord appears constantly in front of you, blessing you, you will feel very miserable. I want to browse and see something in this thing. I want to, indulge in some romance with my partner, this, that. In the Mansha, what? See, I tell you, it's very difficult. Imagine a state when Lord is always there, looking at you. It's not possible. So thank God he disappears. Like the father always watches the son. What is he doing? The son will become very miserable. Papa, please. He says, no. I also need my privacy. Please. He says, no. So it is not that. Some people say you go to Vaikuntha and you sit and go on singing Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. How can you see somebody always kannu valichirum kashtam adu. Yara irundhalum seri. Evlo beloved-a irundhalum paathute na irukka mudiyadhu yaru. Thank God he goes back to his yathaasthanam without troubling us. Whatever is redundant, whatever is in Triputi is very tiring. I tell you, whatever is in Triputi, knower, knowledge, known, it is tiring. That is why we go to sleep. Why we go to sleep? There is a freedom from this Triputi in sleep. Knower, knowledge, known, this Triputi, there is freedom from Triputi in sleep. Therefore we go there and rest. And then we come back to play in this Triputi. But suppose if the Triputi is always there, the God is always there, it's tiresome. Sorry to tell you that. But it's true. It's truth. So therefore, but the self is not that. Why? It is beyond. It is Ananda, and not only that, there is nothing to know. Thank God there is nothing to know there. If there is something to know, it becomes a problem, tiring. Knowing is tiring. See, please understand. Knowing is tiring. That is why we go to sleep. If you are going to know God always or the self always, it is tiring. You need not know him because your own self. There is no need to know him. You are that. So therefore, Ishvara Darshanam is not seeing somebody other than yourself as a third person, however wonderful he may be. It is knowing yourself only. Because the Lord also essentially is a self only, because he is of the nature of knowledge and existence knowledge principle. Vesha is only different. But when you give up your Vesha and you remain in yourself, the pure self which is Satchit, existence knowledge, then you are remaining in God only. Because God's pure nature is existence knowledge. That is real Atmanishtha, that is self-realization, that is self-abidance, that is the truth, abidance in truth. See, the God or that one Paramatma can take any form, because who can stop him? He is all powerful. So he can come as our Ishta Devata and bless you also. He can guide you also. No doubt about that. But whoever he may be, you cannot tolerate him 24/7, 365 days, all your life. Why? It's tiresome. So, to go beyond these equipments, go beyond knowing and being, is actually freedom. And that is only possible 24/7. That is your nature. Whatever is your nature is only possible 24/7. 365 days. So please understand, whatever we know as knowing or experiencing is dukkha only, from the standpoint of the highest. Going beyond knowing and experiencing is sukha. When you give up the knower and the experiencer, then there is real sukha. So therefore, Tat Tvamasi means, you are that means what? We are not questioning Ishvara. From this standpoint of I am a Jiva, there is Ishvara. From the standpoint of waves, there is a ocean only. How can the wave deny the ocean? Without ocean, how can the wave be? But when the wave gives up its form and abides in the water, from the standpoint of water, waves and ocean are not different. They are one. This is what we are trying to say. How long it can go as a wave without abiding as a water? So, you have to abide as a self. Then there is sukha. When you become a jiva, howsoever the indulgences are very wonderful, pleasurable, but it's all pain only. Because you don't know what is real sukha. Real sukha is going beyond experiencing or knowing. Because in knowing and experiencing, always there is ayasam. Therefore, you drink payasam of the self. So you become ananda. You know what is ayasam? Effort. Wherever there is effort, there is pain. In self, there is it's effortless. Therefore, there is no pain. There is only ananda, sukha. Paramanir pirindiv ulahinai talayil patriyan petrathu podum. Meaning what? Paramanir pirindu. And the existence knowledge principle illama. Paramanir pirindu ulahinai talayil patri. Jivanahi in the ulahinai patri. Prathom. அனுபவிச்சு பார்த்து கேட்டு அனுபவிச்சு பற்றியான் பெற்றது போதும், அந்த துக்கம் போதும். பரமநாமருணா சலயனையினியும் பதத்தினின் ஒதுக்குழப்பாரே. So may you not desert me, and may you always be one with you. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரிங்க பாருங்க. So to become the knower, the experiencer, is dukkha. To remind us the source where you need not become anything. You don't need any experience because you are Purna. Why we need experience? to feel good and happy. You don't need anything. You are that. So to remain as that source of all experience is Sukha. So there, don't confuse yourself with God. Because அங்கே ஒரு guilt இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். இப்போ God என்னாச்சு? What happened to the God? What happened to God? No, don't worry. God is your own nature only. So therefore you remain Sukham. If I don't remember Him, will He not feel bad about it? Or will He not punish me? Or will He not? Don't worry. If you fear God, you don't know what is God. He is compassionate, like more than our mother. How can He punish us? So, be yourself. This is the idea of this Mahavakya Upadesha. So, Veshahanataha Swatma Darshanam. That is Isa Darshanam. Swatma Rupataha. And moving on to the next verse. This is the real punch. What is the punch? There also, you will not know Him. Just be there. As a self, be there. Atma samstitihi swatma darshanam.
Atma samstitihi swatma darshanam.
Atma nirdvayat atma nishtatha.
Atma nirdvayat atma nishtatha.
Atma samstitihi swatma darshanam.
Atma samstitihi swatma darshanam.
Atma nirdvayat atma nishtatha.
Atma nirdvayat atma nishtatha.
What is Swatma Darshanam? Darshanam means what? Seeing the self, or knowing it, or seeing it. What is the meaning of Swatma Darshanam? Swatma Samstitihi. Swatma Samstitihi means what? Being or abiding in the self is actually knowing the self. Darshanam means knowing or seeing. How? Why? Because in the real self, there is nothing called as the seer and the seen. If there is a seer and the seen, it becomes dual. Atma nirdvayat. This Atma, the self, nirdvayat. It is one and the same, not two. Have you ever experienced yourself as a two? See, in cinema you can see this. MGR comes drunk and he sees his own Manasakshi and himself. Otherwise, we cannot experience as two. The Atma is only one. Atma nirdvayat. Atma is only one without the second. Therefore, it cannot be split into the knower and the known. Whenever you want to know something, there should be a knower and the known. Is it not so? That is the problem. So, when you transcend all these equipments, when you don't even become the knower, then you are in the self. So, when you transcend the knower also, you are in the self. There is no knower, known duality. That means being. But, in the seat of meditation, because of our habit, if you want to know the self, what we do? We split our consciousness into knower and the known. Objectifying the truth. There you lose. Again and again we want to know. We objectify it. I am the knower, I want to know. No. In Atma, there is no knower and the known. It is one. So therefore, Atma means what? The self. So self is a knower. Self is a known means what? There is no duality. Therefore you not know it. Just be. Being is knowing here. Atma nirdvayat, Atma nishtata. So firmly rooted, abiding in the self is actually called as the self-knowledge. Or Swatma Darshanam, the vision of self. So it is not seeing or it is not knowing, it is just being. Because the self is non-dual, it cannot be broken up into knower and the known. But always our struggle is what? As a knower, remaining intact as the knower. Like I have known physics, chemistry, mathematics, like I have collected degrees, PhDs, I want to know this Brahma also and become Brahmajnani. Why? Then only people will appreciate me and worship me. Oh, a Brahmajnani is coming, come on, come. We want to become a Brahmajnani. After becoming PhD also, what else we can do now? Oh, I want to become Brahmajnani. Sorry, you cannot Brahmajnani. You cannot become Brahmajnani. Why? If you are there, then you are not a Brahmajnani. You have to go. Sorry, you have to go. You have to go means what? The ego has to go. Then only there is Brahmajnanam. For whom? Not for anybody. It knows by itself, Solyache. Not for anybody. So, as a person, intact, as you have collected your doctorate, you cannot collect from anybody the Brahmajnana certificate. Because in Brahmajnanam you are not. The Vyakti, the individuality goes. The knower perishes. The experiencer goes. What remains is Brahmajnana. So therefore, in the purping Vivekana ஏன் சொல்றேன்னு கேட்டா, அந்த அகங்காரம் நாசமாகும். நான் பெரிய ஆள், நான் பெரிய ப்ரொஃபஸர், நான் பெரிய சயின்டிஸ்ட், நான் ரிசர்ச்சர், நான் அது, நான் இது, நான் ஐஐடி, ஐஐஎம், ஹார்வர்ட், நோ அது இது, அதெல்லாம் போய் தொலைணும். நான் பிராமணன், நான் அது இது, Sanskrit PhD. People terrorize you, when you go somewhere. He is PhD in Sanskrit. Oh. So I am a PhD in Sanskrit. You can be PhD in Sanskrit, but you cannot be a Brahmajnani or a Brahma, the self. So you have to give up all this nonsense, all this identification. And then you will not become a Brahmajnani, you will become Brahmam, which is everything. See, it's Chuma forward. This thing we say Brahmajnani. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. He is Brahma himself. So in Brahman, there is nobody to appreciate you. Bhav. There is no one. Other than yourself means what? Other than that Brahman, there is nothing. So there is no need for any recognition. Ayo, how cheap we are. Always we want somebody to validate us, recognize us, appreciate us. This is ego. Petty ego wants always to be petted like a dog. Nonsense this is. This is false. So when this ego goes, what remains is the truth, the self, pure self, which is existence knowledge and which is Ananda, which is infinite. So that you are, just be. Don't even try to know. In that highest state, this is the biggest trouble because we all want to know it. If I drop that knowing also, what will happen, Swamiji? Drop it and find out what will happen. That is the final leap, to drop even the knower. But தூங்கிட மாட்டேனா? Yes, there is a chance that you can sleep also. Then you go into Jada Samadhi or deep sleep. There is a chance. So be alert and aware. Don't sleep. Just be. If you can bring the deep sleep state into the waking state, that is Samadhi. In the deep sleep state, there is no Bheda, no experience. In the waking state, there is awareness. So when you are aware of nothing, that is Brahmajnana. When you are aware of nothing, meaning just aware. So, you need not know, it is awareness itself. So therefore, just be. That is the clarion call of all our rishis. Just be. Apna nartham, summa iru. Iru means what? Be. Summa, why? No need to know anything or do anything. Just be. So wherever we are identified very strongly, we have to give it up. For example, this person may identify very strongly with, I am an acharya, teacher. As long as I identify as a teacher, I struggle. That also should go. If suppose you identify yourself as a musician, I am a great singer, that should go. If you identify yourself as a thinker, intellectual person, that should go. It's not that you should not you should not remain as an intelligent person, but you should not identify as you are a great intellectual person and look down upon somebody and try to show always that you are an intellectual person. Some people have got this habit. They want to always show that they are very intelligent, they know everything, they are masters of everything, blah, blah, blah. That is also part of the ego only. That should go. Moodhavat acharet, it is said. You roam in this world like a fool. Moodhavat acharet. A Brahmagyani, a really enlightened person, he roams in the world like a fool. Though he knows everything, he acts as if he doesn't know anything. That is real adakam, humility. Like, he is not humble, he is naturally that. So therefore, veshahanataha, when you go beyond your body mind, you remain in yourself. And that is Ishvara Darshanam. That is God. And not only that, there is not even knowing anything. Because when you start knowing the truth, you become the knower and something becomes the known. And the truth can never be known because it is Purnam. How can it be split into something known and you are the knower? Cannot happen. Therefore, there is no need to know there. Just be. நான் யாருன்னு விசாரிச்சு அதுலேயே இருக்க சொல்கிறார் பகவான். அங்கே ஒன்றும் அறிவதற்கு ஒன்றிலும் சொல்ல போகிறார். அடுத்த செய்யுள்ள அறிவறியாமையும் அற்ற அறிவே அறிவாகும் உண்மை இது உந்தி பெற அறிதற்கு ஒன்றுமில்லை உந்திவர் அறிவதற்கு ஒன்றில்லை உந்திவர் சொல்ல அடுத்த செய்யுள்ள. So therefore there is nothing to know. So about the world there is nothing to know, it is false. About God there is no need to know because He is your own self. And about yourself you cannot know because there are no two selves. Then there is nothing to know. Then why are we here? Time pass, our Acharya says. Acharya says time pass is this. So just be and enjoy without getting caught in any of your layer of your personality. Enjoy. This is the only thing. See, Kaivalyanam also we have seen. What is the difference between Ajnani and Jnani? Jnani is like Akasham, not attached to anything. But Ajnani is attached to everything. That is why he suffers. Not attached to anything means what? Not attached to any layer of his personality. Because when you consider your body, then there is a world. When you consider the mind, there is an emotional world. When you consider yourself the buddhi, there is an intellectual world. So when you free yourself from all this layer of personality, all the worlds are also negated. Please understand, world is not something else. Whatever you identify with, that creates that world. Even knowing is burden. Knowing anything is burden. That is why when we forget, we feel very miserable. ஐயோ நான் இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு ஞாபகம் வச்சு எல்லாம் மறந்து போச்சு. நல்ல வேலை மறந்து தொலைகிட்டோம் எல்லாம். What can you do to this girl? So here we stop now. Okay. Another thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi